Hope you're all having a lovely day, whichever day you're watching this video on. I sat down this morning and tried to have a think about YouTube and ideas, and I put one of those little things up on my Instagram story to kind of ask what you guys want to see from my videos, because honestly sometimes I get a little bit stuck for ideas. And one of the things that came up quite frequently was to chat a little bit more about sustainable hacks and things I've learned about sustainability and things like that. So that's where I got the idea from for today's video. So I really hope that you guys find this useful. So before I get started with filming this, I just want to say I am not someone who lives a zero waste lifestyle. I'm not an eco warrior. I'm not anyone who claims to be perfect. I'm honestly just a normal person who has tried to implement a few things over the past few years to, I guess, be kinder to the planet, hopefully make some small changes. And I do think I figured out a few hacks that you guys could also implement into your lifestyle. So I don't want anyone to come at me with everything that I'm not doing. I'm honestly just showing a few things that I enjoy doing, and I hope that you guys do too. Sorry, I just sat down again, but I just wanted to mention that today we're going to be going through more like kitchen foodie sustainable hacks. But if you do want to see one that's a little bit more based around fashion and what else? Beauty and hair care, I will happily do that, but I thought today we'd segment it and focus on kitchen foodie stuff. Also, it's that really awkward time of the day in the UK where it's about to start getting dark. So sorry if we have a shift in the light in this video, but it's actually snowing at the moment. I don't know if you can see that properly, but there is literally tons of snow falling from the sky, and it's been snowing all day. Let's go into my kitchen and get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is food storage or preserving food. So one of my favorite methods is using beeswax wraps. Now I have these in a variety of sizes here, which is amazing because it means that no matter how big the thing is that you're wrapping it around, I usually have one that will fit. So how this works is, say for example I have an orange and I'd cut it in half and I didn't want to eat the other half right now, I would literally take a beeswax wrap that's sort of an appropriate size, so I'd probably go for one this size, and simply wrap it up. And because it's basically a piece of material wrapped in a beeswax layer, it's a little bit sticky. As you can see, it just kind of sticks to itself. I could press that down even further and just keeps it sealed. These are really, really amazing, and they're basically a great alternative to cling film or tin foil, which is obviously a single-use thing. Not amazing for the planet, and I've used these for the past few years now, and I think they're amazing. I actually just way prefer them. They're a lot easier to use. I know cling film gets all stuck to itself. I've got some with really cute little designs on, and they're just fabulous. I've even got like really tiny ones for little things and larger ones for if I've got like a plate to cover, and then to wash those you literally just rinse them with a bit of cold water. And what I tend to do, if I have had like an open orange for example, touching it, I will just rinse it with a little bit of washing up liquid. I haven't realised personally that it's affected the performance or anything like that, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're meant to do. So just to show you up close, this is what they look like. Literally just folds and it's like a little tacky layer. Next up are these silicone, I guess they're kind of like, these ones are called food huggers, and some of these will cover plates, so I guess they're like a sealing device. Now they are made from a plastic, but the idea is these will last forever. They're so useful and really easy to wash. So I thought I'd show you with a bowl. So say I had like a leftover something in the bowl that I wanted to place on the fridge, I just pick one that looks like it's going to fit over, and it just stretches over, and it's such an amazing alternative to cling film. I know that's exactly where I would usually use cling film and then put it in the fridge, but it's just such an amazing alternative. I just personally think they're so much easier to use as well. So yeah, I have these in a variety of sizes. I think I got one big set of these clear ones, and then I actually have a set of the food hugger ones as well. These are also amazing for fruit. So again, like I said with the orange before, if I had half an orange there, I could slip it into, sorry that doesn't fit at the moment, but I'd slip it into there and it would just fit really perfectly, keep it really well sealed, and there's no waste. This is another set I have as well. I think I have a few of those colours that I picked up over the last few years, and they just stretch around things. But yeah, I get so much use out of these. Right, so the next thing that I've got, but I store them up here, which is actually not that convenient. I save all of my glass jars. So you know when you finish like some jam or peanut butter or anything like that, I save all of these jars, and these are amazing for storing things. So I'll tend to reach for these when I want to store sauces and things like that. So if I make a pasta sauce, I'll often make double, or jerk seasoning, which I have been trying to master recently. I'll store all of these with lids. And the other thing that I'll do with my jars as well is make candles out of them. So for Christmas, I made loads of candles for all my family members, and I filled up the candle, had a little wick, put some ribbon around, things like that. All in all, it's just such a fabulous way of reusing something as pretty as a glass jar. Like, who even wants to throw those away? I always feel really bad throwing them away before I've really got my use out of them. So next thing I'm going to show you is a great alternative to either greaseproof paper if you're baking or tinfoil if you're cooking. So we have these reusable mats which you put on your baking tray. You can buy them and cut them to shape if you want to. It's basically just a non-stick mat which does exactly the same thing as your baking parchment or tinfoil. You literally just wipe it clean when you've used it and place it back. For me personally, I think it's far, far less fiddly. You're not having to constantly tear tinfoil from those rubbish cardboard boxes and things like that, and it's a swap that I found so simple. We actually used to use these at my family home as well, and there is no waste at the end of it. So next up we have got cleaning products. Now I buy most of my cleaning products from the Bauer Collective. I worked with the Bauer Collective for a few months last year. Just think they're the most amazing brand, and I have been placing orders with them ever since. I think they are incredible. I think they just do such a great job at bridging the gap between convenience and sustainability. So pretty much how the Bauer Collective works, they send you their cleaning products in these sachets. You then refill your bottles. These are all available to buy on Bauer Collective, or you can use ones you already have. And then you send back the sachets when you've got sort of 3 or 4 in a prepaid for envelope that they give you with your order. They sterilize them and reuse them. So this sachet right here might have been reused like 5, 6, 10, 20 times. I'm not sure exactly how many, but I think it's just amazing and really, really reduces the waste. Personally, I found that cleaning products as well as beauty products were a big thing for me. And I personally used to produce quite a lot of plastic waste from my cleaning products. And I think that the Bauer Collective has just been such an amazing brand for helping me to cut down on that. They also sell products that aren't branded Bauer Collective necessarily, like these EcoZone dishwasher tablets that Ellie and I have used. I've actually used these, I think, for the last 2 to 3 years or something. They are also amazing, come in cardboard packaging. They have a ton of other things on there like beauty products. I would actually love to film a sort of sustainable beauty, I don't know, you know, like more that end of the house, like bathroom, beauty, clothing, I don't know. Basically not kitchen stuff. Maybe I'll film a separate video on that. But yeah, Bauer Collective have been incredible, and I use them for things like hand soap, washing up liquid, all-purpose sanitizer. I've got like bathroom cleaner, toilet cleaner, you name it, I seem to have it. And I just think they've been fabulous. So next one is being more mindful of leftovers. Food waste is such a big thing, and it's something that I am trying to focus on for this year, because I know Ellie and I do try and cut down, but we definitely still do produce food waste. Before you know it, you've got like a chili or a bit of ginger or some vegetables that have gone off, you end up throwing them away. So what I'm trying to do is sort of overcook a little bit. It's making a really big dish and keeping some of it for leftovers. Leftovers are also really great for convenience. You can have them for lunch the next day and then you don't even have to think about that meal. So this is my Sunday meal. It's now Tuesday and we're gonna have this for dinner tonight. So I made this kind of jerk chicken sausage thing. You know that jerk sauce that I was talking about before? That is in here, but it smells really good. So I overmade on this, used up loads of veggies that are about to go off, had some carrots that really needed eating, made a big dish and then put it in the fridge and you can eat it another day. So like I said, as well as being convenient, it's really amazing for helping food waste, which is a massive problem here in the UK. I definitely think that using this method can actually save you a little bit of money as well, because you aren't planning as many different meals, you aren't necessarily buying as many ingredients, and just a little bit more economical. So growing your own herbs. This is something that I had started doing when I moved into this flat, and I've actually had quite a lot of fun doing it. I was one of those people that would buy herbs for a meal and then they would end up going off in the UK. Unless you're going to shop at like Whole Foods or the really expensive organic markets, normal supermarkets sell herbs generally either in a plant form, which dies in a few days because they haven't given it to you properly, it's root bound and it's just really difficult to help them to survive, or they sell them in plastic. So if you want to buy a smaller amount of the herb, which is usually a little bit cheaper, you have to buy it in plastic, which isn't ideal. So growing your own herbs can be amazing, as well as it being a lot of fun. I can literally just come along and trim a bit of parsley off this whenever I want to. You can see all the stalks here from where I've used it. I've actually tried to grow a few herbs and some of them sadly haven't made it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And I do think I'm quite a good plant mum, so I'm not blaming myself. I think some of them can be a little bit tricky, like mint really haven't really got on with mint, died on me relatively quickly, but I've got a few that have been amazing. I've got sage, I've got thyme, which I use for that jerk sauce that I was showing you before. And I just think it's fab. This is like my little parsley baby. And it saves me buying those tiny amounts of herbs in those plastic wrappers, which are also really expensive. So last one I wanted to go through today is utilizing your freezer space. I love a good freezer, and I know freezers obviously require energy to run, which isn't the best, but I do think freezers can be an amazing thing to be able to save on food waste and also on money. So these are a few examples of things that I would keep in the freezer. I do buy a lot of fresh vegetables, but I do also buy a lot of vegetables frozen. So in the UK, like I was saying, unless you shop at really expensive food places or you have a really amazing local market, which I personally don't have near me, that sells amazing fresh vegetables that you can go and buy without the plastic, everything is wrapped in plastic. So if I was to buy green beans, like so, I would be buying like 30 green beans wrapped in a plastic thing over and over again. Instead of that, I've opted for a few vegetables that I keep in the freezer, some of which include leeks, green beans, I have broccoli in the freezer, and then your classic like peas, which I think most people have in the freezer. Also sweet corn, I've been trying to make an effort to buy that frozen rather than in a tin, and overall it's saving me on plastic waste as well as food waste. So with some vegetables like leeks, I personally don't use leeks really often. I probably use them like once a week maximum in my cooking. So if I was to go and buy leeks at the supermarket, I often can't just buy one leek, you have to buy a pack of leeks which is wrapped in plastic. So this way I can ensure that I don't have leeks that go off. I just take it out the freezer as and when I need it. I find that this can work really well. It's also a cheaper way of buying things. They'll often freeze the produce when it's really fresh and it's at its best, and it won't lose too many of the nutrients. This method is also amazing to do with frozen fruits, especially if you want it for smoothies or on your porridge or anything like that. It can be such a great and economical way of eating your nutrients. So personally for me, using the freezer can actually help me save on plastic, just because I'm not buying as many smaller individually wrapped things, also on food waste and on money. I just thought of another example while I was putting those back in the freezer, which I wanted to share with you. So my younger sister is gluten-free, and I'll always make sure that I have some gluten-free alternatives to things that Ellie and I will eat for when she comes round. So things like these gluten-free wraps, Ellie and I aren't going to eat them, but I didn't want to throw these away when we'd had a fajita night all together. I mean, this was quite a while ago now. So I literally just put these in the freezer. So these are frozen, and then next time she comes round, I might make her a wrap for lunch or something, but otherwise these would have gone in the bin, and yeah, just saves me buying them again. So those are some of my little kitchen foodie, more sustainable hacks. So I do hope that you found it useful and you've learned something, I guess, and maybe there's something that you also feel like you could implement into your lifestyle. I've just looked at something right next to me, which I probably should have mentioned. I feel like there are a few sustainable hacks that are like really common ones now, but I'll just go through it in case. So this looks really gross, but I've just finished a smoothie. I just finished this blueberry smoothie and it's now looking like I've had like a weird brown mushy smoothie. But metal straws, always an amazing one. I feel like a lot of people know about this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I would really judge someone for using a plastic straw these days. So having metal straws, these are amazing. I also just think they're much nicer than plastic straws anyway. The other one that I maybe should have mentioned is having a reusable coffee cup. Again, that's one of those things that I feel like if you don't use reusable coffee cups when you can, obviously COVID permitting, then what are you doing with your life? Yeah, I feel like those two are really common and popular ones, so maybe it was best that I left them out because I feel like a lot of people know those already. But yeah, that rounds up my sustainable foodie hacks. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Do make sure to leave a comment if you want to see more of this kind of thing. I do love sharing my sustainable hacks with you guys, but I do just get a little bit conscious, you know, you get judged on the internet and I'm not really here for that. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Please subscribe if you do want to stick around, and I'll see you in my next video.